Your name reverberates off the walls of the rooms that are hidden from view, where the doors are locked and the light is afraid to enter. Neither once nor twice, but on a consistent basis. It is important to note that these are not merely passing remarks. These are in-depth analyses of every action you take, every breath you take, and every victory you achieve. While they are sitting there, someone is demanding information about you while holding their phone so tightly that their knuckles turn white. They said, "Tell me everything," and they did so. Leave nothing out. This individual, this energy, is kept hidden away behind closed doors, perhaps in a literal sense, or perhaps in a figurative sense, but their thoughts are free to roam through the cosmic channels, and each and every one of them goes back to you. A number of watchers and spies have been dispatched, and entire networks have been established with the sole purpose of gathering intelligence on your movements. It is their question. Is he still standing? They are inquiring. Is she still rising? As a question. They raise their voices and yell, "Tell me," when the response does not come quickly enough. Everything is revealed by the agony that can be heard in their voice. If you are doing well, they need to know about it. They are required to verify whether or not you have surpassed their capabilities. The fact that they feel a sense of cosmic fear whenever your name is spoken is a sign that they are telling the truth. The power that you possess has become the focal point of their universe. The moment they open their eyes in the morning, they are saying your name. At the end of each night, they go off to sleep, wondering what actions you have taken without their involvement. They have turned your very existence into a source of both obsession and torment for them. And for what reason? Mainly due to the fact that they are deeply rooted in the cosmic comprehension of everything. They have a complete understanding of who you are, even if you haven't entirely come to terms with it yourself. The number of times that these calls are made has increased. What was once done once a week is now done every day. It went from being daily to being hourly. Your own essence is being monitored by the cosmic channels, which are constantly monitoring your every action, analyzing your every word, and scrutinizing every connection you make. A hushed voice is heard from them asking, "Did you see what they posted? Did you notice who they're connecting with now?" They put forth as a demand. They ask with shaking voices, "Do they have any suspicions concerning anything?" The subject that occupies their waking hours is your name, which has become the main point of their covert gatherings, the focal point of their covert goals, and the subject that centers their attention. At this moment, shock, astonishment, and perplexity are the feelings that permeate every private conversation that is about you. It was not intended for this to take place. Their voices seem to be shaking as they whisper. They were supposed to crumble by now. Do you remember having to overcome the challenges that came your way? Not at all random were those. Do you recall those rumors that you were able to gather through some means? There were no accidents involved. Do you remember those times when it appeared as though everything out there was trying to bring you to nothingness? They orchestrated that in their own way. The snare had been set. The lure was set in place. Your big demise, your magnificent failure, and your full capitulation were all on display for the crowd who had gathered to witness it. On the other hand, here you are, unbroken, unbowed, and unconquered. You are here for a reason. If you feel the call, answer it. Click Join to unlock exclusive content, deep insights, and a powerful community. This isn't just a membership, it's an awakening. Step into your divine purpose. Join the chosen. In the present moment, they are sitting in circles, rehashing their unsuccessful strategies like generals after a fight that they have lost. "Where did we go wrong?" they ask one another. "Where went we wrong?" Your heavenly protection is the only variable that matters, and no one has ever calculated it. This is the reason why no one has an answer. They believed that isolating you would make you weaker. In its place, it transformed you into something that cannot be touched. You were anticipated to be crushed by the pressure. On the contrary, it turned you into a gorgeous diamond. In order to mislead you, they anticipated pandemonium. On the contrary, it made your objective more clear. With each passing day, their calls take on an increasingly urgent tone. They look at them and question, how are they still standing? They are perplexed and wonder, how are they still smiling? The cosmic irony that keeps them up at night is the question, how are they still succeeding when we threw everything at them? Each and every weapon that they have crafted against you has merely served to reinforce your defenses. Your reflexes have been improved by each and every attack that they have unleashed. You have become more determined as a result of each hit that they have administered. You were never expected to continue to be successful. In spite of this, here you are. It was a disastrous error in judgment on their part. Although they investigated your history, they were unable to discern your progression. They examined your shortcomings, but they failed to take into account your adaptability. They were able to identify your vulnerabilities, but they failed to recognize your extraordinary resistance. They are becoming increasingly afraid, as evidenced by the hushed tones in those private calls. They tell one another that we hit them with our best shots, and they both agree. We unleashed our strongest weapons, they recollect with a sense of amazement. We deployed our most effective tactics, they mumble in a state of bewilderment. Still, you continue to rise, and yet you make progress. Still, you are successful. The simple sight of your ongoing ascension causes their entire worldview to be thrown into disarray. By maintaining your unwavering stance, they have been shown to be completely wrong about all they believed they knew about shattering someone's spirit. The worst disclosures occur in the dead of night, when truth seeps through flaws in their well-erected facades. This is when the truth is revealed. The truth is that their aims have always been more nefarious than you could have ever imagined. It is not because they respect you that they desired to exchange places with you. Rather, it is because they are afraid of what you represent. Someone, or even more than one person, attempted to commit the ultimate cosmic theft by snatching your destiny while leaving you with their karma. The brazenness, the cosmic arrogance, and the disregard for everyone in the universe. The evidence was fabricated instead. Instances were modified in some way. The fabrication of lies was carried out with surgical precision, with the intention of making you assume responsibility for their conduct. The entire thing is structured to make you bear the consequences of their decisions. If we can just make them carry our burdens, they thought to themselves, we can claim what was meant for them. When it comes to its accounting, however, the cosmos does not make any mistakes. Heavenly justice is not susceptible to being bribed, manipulated, or deceived. If the documents belonging to destiny contain forged signatures, the cosmic law will not acknowledge them. During the time that they were groping for your crown, they attempted to drag you into quicksand. While keeping an eye on your safe harbor, they made an attempt to tether you to their ships that were sinking. While they were attempting to get your blessings, they pursued the goal of shackling you to their consequences. Every single time, the cosmic ledger is in perfect balance. The moment they understand that the debt collector is aware of the specific name that is printed on the bill, they experience a surge of panic that is comparable to the rising of floodwaters. The complex plot that they crafted demonstrates the extent of their desperation to the fullest extent. It was determined to position false witnesses. Evidence that was not genuine was fabricated. There was a distribution of fictional storylines, all of which were coordinated with painstaking care to detail in order to make their blackness appear like your shadow. They strategized, "Let them fall instead of us," during those chats that took place at midnight. "Let them carry the weight of our transgressions." They strategized with a strategy that was full of cold calculation. If your heart overflows with God's blessings, let that love shine. Click the super thank you button and give $20 or more to plant seeds of faith that will impact countless lives. Your generosity reflects His abundance. Be a vessel of His grace and watch His kingdom flourish through you. The cosmic auditors perform their duties with unparalleled accuracy. Every debt is returned to the person who justly owes it. Each consequence is traced back to its appropriate origin. Each and every karmic weight is taken care of exactly where it should be. For the global accountants who are responsible for tracking the true origin of every action, there is no amount of cosmic sleight of hand that can fool them. They have not been successful in all of their endeavors. None of it. They were playing mental games with the intention of warping your perception, clouding your judgment, and weakening your determination. They sent counsel that was actually a confused message. It was an opportunity disguised as a temptation that they presented. Despite this, your thoughts remained unclouded. Your concentration did not waver. Your intuitive abilities were able to break through their haze like cosmic lightning through storm clouds. They have been having secret conversations that have taken on an air of desperation. To each other, they pose the question, why won't they break? The question that they demand to know is, why won't they fall for it? They beg, what are we missing? As if the answer contains the potential to save them from what is going to happen. The reality is terrifying to them. You are able to see through the fiction. It is clear to you who is the puppet master hiding behind the curtain. What is even more terrifying is the fact that you do not seem to be affected by their attempts to exert control over your feelings, your choices, and your path. They are afraid of your clarity. They fear your sense of wisdom. They are frightened by the fact that you are able to maintain your authority despite the chaos that is occurring around you. The more people focus their attention on you, the more they come to the conclusion that you are nothing like them, and the fact shocks them to their very basis. Each and every unsuccessful attempt at persuasion simply serves to prove what they had guessed but hoped was not true. You are functioning at a higher frequency, and you are being directed by forces that are beyond their ability to comprehend or control. Because the cosmic clock is ticking, and they are aware that their time is running out. Their anxiety is growing with each passing day. You should have been utterly trapped by the technologically advanced traps that they set. Your deepest wounds ought to have been ignited by the emotional triggers that they strategically established. The false options that they gave to you ought to have led you into routes that proved to be disastrous. You instead shown superhuman judgment by avoiding their traps and stepping over them. As a result of your awareness of their triggers, you chose not to be triggered. You were able to see through their erroneous decisions and come up with your own substitutions. The desperate energy of unsuccessful manipulators who are watching their control disintegrate is now carried via their private calls. The fervor with which they argue, "We need new tactics," is growing constantly. Increasingly frustrated, they demand, "We need stronger methods," and they insist on this. "We need something, anything, that will work on them," they beg, their voices tinged with the unmistakable rhythm of oncoming loss. "We need something, anything, that will work on them." It was not a coincidence that you were immune to their manipulation. This is something that they failed to comprehend. The event was not a coincidence. It was not a short-term situation. The immunity you possess was acquired via previous fires, grown through earlier difficulties, and strengthened through previous betrayals. If you've been touched by God's goodness, don't keep it to yourself. Click Super Thank You and sow a gift of $20 or more to help spread His light. Your giving becomes a ripple of grace, blessing hearts and building His kingdom. Let His overflow pour through you. Something that used to work on you is no longer effective, and they are unable to understand how or why this is the case. These doors, which they believed they had shut, suddenly opened up. Those opportunities that they thought they had taken advantage of multiplied and came back to them. It was certain that they had cut such linkages, but those connections were restored and enhanced. As the gifts flood into your life like cosmic downpour after a drought, they observe in startled quiet as they become more abundant. The reverberation of defeat can now be heard in their empty calls. There was no way that this was supposed to take place. Someone made an attempt to obstruct your path to riches by putting cosmic obstacles in your way. There was an attempt made to reroute the river of prosperity that you had. Someone was under the impression that they possessed the ability to circumvent the divine timetable. That was not the case. At this moment, something or someone fresh enters your life. It was precisely this link, this opportunity, and this benefit that they attempted to conceal from you, prevent from reaching you, and delay from finding you. They exerted a significant amount of effort within themselves to ensure that this alignment would never take place. The meddling of humans, however, is not capable of preventing divine orchestration. It is impossible to undo cosmic arrangements through the manipulation of earthly forces. It is impossible for individuals who were not parties to the soul contract in the first place to change their minds about it. They are now aware of the irony that permeates their harsh chats, which is the realization that their very efforts to prevent you from receiving blessings have simply accelerated your ascent. Your acceleration was fueled by their interference, which also served as a catalyst. It was their hindrance that served as the basis for your ascension. When it comes to humor, does the cosmos have a sense of humor? You were able to soar to new heights with the assistance of the very hands that attempted to hold you down. It was expected that the strategic blockades that they positioned would be impossible to breach. They should have left the links that they severed in their current state. The opportunities that they redirected should never have been returned to you in the first place. However, cosmic law functions outside the limitations of human beings. Unaffected by human intervention, divine timing operates effectively. The operation of universal justice is not based on the manipulation of humans. And now, let us pause for a moment to pay tribute to those who have been selected among us. I raise a glass to those who have a unique perspective on the world, the attentive souls, the quiet guardians, who are always awake and vigilant despite their silence. They are not the typical type, and they wouldn't have it any other way if they could. If not, it is not a problem at all because we are constantly here, keeping a watchful eye on things and making a difference in ways that are not visible. To those individuals who choose to go their own way, not for the purpose of gaining fame, but because it is who they are. Best wishes to you. I am grateful to you. Their private conversations suggest that they are both surprised. They wonder, how did they find that opportunity? With a look of incredulity on their face, they are so frustrated that they demand to know who was it that connected them with those people. They find themselves increasingly filled with dread as they inquire, why are they receiving these blessings? The universal reality that they were unable to comprehend is that obstructing the flow of holy energy will only result in the creation of pressure, and pressure will always find a way to be released. The blessings that they attempted to stifle just accumulated force, gaining momentum and increasing in power until the breakthrough that was inevitably going to occur arrived with momentum that could not be stopped. Your deliverance has come about as a result of what they intended to be your demise. The place that they intended to be your prison has turned out to be your starting point. The thing that they made the burden of for you has turned out to be your breakthrough. Fear is now manifesting itself in their voices. It is not anxiety or worry. Rather, it is terror that is soul-shaking and bone-deep. In their ears, the cosmic clock that once appeared to be ticking so slowly now resounds like a countdown to the inevitable reckoning that is about to take place. Due to their desire to consume the energy that was responsible for their creation, the shadows that they dispatched to seek you have now returned to their origin. All of the things that they constructed on the basis of falsehood are falling apart. Starting from the very beginning, the foundation was defective because it was built with materials that are incapable of withstanding the weight of the truth. In addition, as the building begins to sway in a perilous manner, they are frantically trying to conceal their tracks, locate escape routes, and come up with alibis. "We have to get out of here," they mutter in a hushed voice. They pleaded, "We need to find a way to reverse this," and so they did. "There must be something that we can do," they urge, their conviction waning as they continue to insist. Nevertheless, there is no way to avoid the vengeance of the divine. The justice of the cosmos cannot be reversed in any way. The universal law does not allow for any kind of discussion. They are likely to confront a judgment that is not punitive, but rather therapeutic. To put it simply, the universe is simply bringing everything back to where it belongs, bringing everyone back to where they belong, and bringing every energy back to where it should be aligned. Moreover, those individuals who attempted to influence divine order discover that they are exactly where they should be by virtue of this restoration. They are most troubled by the irony that, in their efforts to ensnare you, they have only succeeded in ensnaring themselves. They have simply written their own downfall screenplay in their endeavor to write your downfall script. Their private calls have taken on the frenzied energy of persons who are witnessing the repercussions of their acts materializing in front of them. The question that they ask each other is, why is everything falling apart? The question that they seek to know is, why are we suddenly exposed? The universal principle that they disregarded, which states that energy always returns to its source with absolute precision. It is now time for the darkness that they sent out to make its way back home. It is now that the catastrophe that they were responsible for is making its way back to their doorstep. Now the turmoil that they created is looking for its originators to reunite with them. The blueprint for their own dismantling has been transformed into what they intended to be the annihilation of another person. What they conceptualized as a means of bringing about your demise has turned out to be the foundation for their own demise. These things that they made for the purpose of causing you pain have now become the instrument of their own reckoning. The truth of the cosmos is presented here, and it cannot be refuted. They have no influence over your future, regardless of the machinations they concoct in the shadows, the plots they devise in secret, or the words they utter behind closed doors. Their voices have no power over your fate. It is now possible to conclude the cosmic paradox. Each and every plan that they devise in order to confine you just serves to restrict their own movement. The only thing that any trap they set for you does is restrict their own freedom. All of the chains that they create for you are just meant to bind their own hands. Your boundaries have been strengthened, your judgment has been clarified, and your standards have been raised as a result of something that was intended to separate you. You have been crowned with resilience, enveloped in wisdom, and armed with genuine power as a result of something that was intended to be a curse rather than a blessing. The equation of the cosmos is always in equilibrium. It is as they become more and more entangled in their own webs that you find yourself becoming more and more emancipated from results that were never yours to begin with. Just let them chat. Ignore their schemes. Allow them to strategize. Your path will not be altered in any way by their privately held conversations. Everything regarding your ascent is unaffected by their clandestine gatherings. The covert goals they have for you have no bearing on your further development. The reason for this is that when the last page is turned, when the ultimate truth is known, and when the entire story is brought into the light, your chapters are being written in triumph, while theirs are being rewritten in regret. Cosmic witnesses are present outside the realm of human perception and beyond the realm of physical sight. They do not lack anything. They keep a record of everything, not only the schemes that are carried out, but also the muttered plots. The universal ledger is able to view, note, and document everything from the concealed motivations to the concealed objectives. These witnesses are not merely observers, rather, they are active participants in the process of universal justice with the purpose of ensuring that every action is traced back to its origin with complete precision. Each and every word that has been spoken against you has been recorded with exquisite precision. Each and every fabricated story that they have fabricated has been compiled and compared to other stories. Each and every dishonest act that they have committed has been meticulously recorded and stored away as proof. What are your thoughts on the matter? They inquire of one another throughout those intimate phone calls. Do you believe that we have been seen by someone? They inquire with an increasing sense of discomfort. Is it possible that we will be found out? They are experiencing a growing sense of uneasiness. The cosmic reality that they were unable to comprehend was that they had never been concealed in the first place. Anything that they thought was hidden has always been apparent to eyes that are able to see beyond the limitations of their physical bodies. What they believe to be a secret has always been open to scrutiny by witnesses who are able to see beyond the bounds of material existence. In the heavenly archives, you will find an unaltered and comprehensive record of every action they have taken against you. Uncontestable evidence of each and every one of their schemes can be found in the cosmic evidence room. In spite of their intervention, obstruction, and manipulation, your ascension was never an issue. Despite all of these things, your rise was never in dispute. When was the only variable, if was never an option? It was before they ever plotted against you that the cosmic blueprint for your life was already in existence. Before they ever plotted to break the terms of your soul contract, you signed it when you were little. Before they ever devised a plan to derail your cause, your mission had already been determined. It is this reality that most infuriates them. Despite the fact that they placed a number of barriers in your way, you continued to make progress. Your brilliance continued to shine through, regardless of the number of lies that were published about your character. You continued to emerge victorious, regardless of the number of times they judged you to be loser.